Train the muscles, not the joints.
So welcome back to Natural Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you about high frequency training. Now, for those of you who have been watching my channel for a period of time, you should probably already have a good idea of what type of training I do, how I usually split the body up and all this kind of stuff. So I'm kind of surprised to get this question from a guy that's a long-time subscriber. He's asking me, is higher frequency training better? Is it the best way to train? Now, I always say it depends on the person. That's the first and foremost thing. Depends on your own makeup, depends on your genetics, depends on how much fast twitch fibers you have in comparison to slow twitch, all this sort of thing. But as a general rule, I believe in higher frequency training, and that's why I sell the programs like the 2-day split, which is your whole body within 2 days. And I have the sets and reps and everything outlined in these programs, so that way you don't overdo it, or, you know, and again, once again, impossible to have a template that's applicable to everybody, but as a general rule, this template is a good place to start. So that said, is higher frequency training better? In my opinion, in a lot of circumstances, it is better to train more often and change the volume or the intensity in order to hit that higher level of frequency. Now, there's a point of diminishing return though. Do I think that training a body part every single day is the best way to train? I would say no on that. Because if you train the body part every single day, there is a possibility that you're not actually recovering from the previous workout. And if you're too broken down, then you're not necessarily going to be building up or giving the body time to build up or to adapt to the stimulus. So there is a point basically where too much is too much. Basically where you're breaking the body down constantly, but you're never giving it a chance to catch up. Now on the flip side of things, a lot of people will train, but then they give themselves way too much time to recover. And so they've already hit their full recovery point after a day or two, and then now they're already starting to go backwards in their adaptation. So they've gotten to their full strength, and now the body's starting to adapt to rest, right? So I think a period of 5 or 6 days for a lot of people is too much rest before you hit a body part again. Now it's up to you to find that happy medium, to find out where the perfect frequency rate is, but I think a 2-day split is a good place to start. And I think a lot of people back in the day, if you look at the old-time bodybuilders, a lot of them were training a body part 3 times a week. A lot of powerlifters found that 3 times a week was ideal in order to keep the groove as well as get some recovery. Now, if you find that you definitely need 3 or 4 days to recover, even if you only do 4 or 5 sets in a workout for a body part, well, that could be just something that's your individual expression in this whole training game. It might be because you have a high amount of fast twitch fibers. It might be because you're out of shape. Sometimes that's the case, right? So sometimes guys will train like once every 7 days or something like that, and then every time their body's so sore that they can barely move. Well, in my opinion, that's because the muscles have de-adapted, if that's even a word. They basically have adapted to becoming out of shape, so you've basically taken too much time off. So in my opinion, I've noticed that if you do less volume and you remind the body constantly in order to adapt, you seem to get better results. And that's what really works for me. I find if I only train a body part once every 4 or 5 days, it's just too little. And no matter how many sets I do, say I do 20 sets or 30 sets for a workout, it just doesn't seem to have the same effect on me because I recover after about 2 or 3 days from that type of workout. And then after that, it's almost like I start to de-evolve, you know, I start to lose the muscle or lose the pump and also lose the groove. And then when I hit that muscle again, it's almost like I'm out of shape by the time I hit it. The other thing is the first 4 or 5 sets of a workout are where you're going to be the most strong, like after warm-ups, of course, but the first 4 or 5 working sets are where you're going to have the most strength and you're going to have the most intensity. And so you'll notice that as you go about your workout, especially if you're hitting failure in your sets, you'll notice that the intensity will start to just go down and it starts to become more of an endurance workout. Now that can have some benefit, but overall as a bodybuilder, you're trying to build those fast twitch fibers and you're trying to build the most amount of muscle as possible, and slow twitch fibers usually aren't the best way to build massive amounts of muscle mass, although you can also hit them from time to time. So that's why you do see me do the higher amount of volume workouts and the higher rep workouts from time to time as well, because I do want to hit those slow twitch fibers. Okay, really shallow angle for incline curl. So I don't recommend this angle for everybody. It just depends on how you're built, right? Feels good though. So yeah, is higher frequency training better? In my opinion, for most people, it is better, but how high the frequency will depend on you, and it will depend on your body, and it will depend on how much volume you're going to be doing. But in the end, I find once every 2 days workout for a body part seems to be the sweet spot. And then sometimes you can go a little bit more frequent than that, like say train 4 days a week or 5 days a week of a body part for short periods of time, and then go back to 2-day splits, right? So I have the 2-day splits on the website. 2-day split and has A program, B program, C program, D program. And in the D program, you are going a little bit more frequent. And somebody did reach out to me and said, Jason, I find that when I went to the C program, it's almost like I'm getting a little overtrained. Well, that's the thing. You have to kind of back off sometimes when you're doing higher frequency training and listen to the body as you go. If you are sticking to the high frequency no matter what, even though your body's showing you some warning signs of getting inflammation or something, you'll either have to back off on the weight, so lower the amount of weight or the percentage of the 1 rep max. So say you're doing sets of a weight that you can do 15 reps with, well, instead do sets of something you can do 25 or 30 reps with. That's one thing you could do to address that problem if you start to get bursitis or tendonitis or something from training higher frequency. The other thing is take a few days off, give your body a break, start over again. And then the third thing is lower the sets. Don't do quite as many sets in a workout and see if your body is able to adapt to that. And the fourth thing you can do is just say, screw it, I'm gonna go to a 3-day split for a period of time and take a break. And I also sell 3-day splits on my website, right? So you could take a break and do a 3-day split, and that way you're giving your body a little bit more time to recover, to catch up. So your body goes through these seasons. So sometimes you push a little bit harder and then you know where that limit is, and then you back off on that intensity, and that's the best way to address that. So that concludes the workout. I just did a little bit of upper body stuff and some Romanian deadlifts and some hamstring curls. So this is what I do. Sometimes I do a little bit more volume for a body part. Sometimes it'll be legs, sometimes it'll be arms or something like that. I just work on the areas which I feel need a pump. Now I trained a lot of chest in the last few days, so I knew I could avoid training chest tonight. So I just basically did some heavier close grip bench with 225 there. So that's why I made that decision, right? And the thing is, I haven't done a lot of heavy close grip lately. I've been doing more isolation type movements. So once in a while you do want to put in a heavy movement that is compound for a body part, because that will make a difference in whether you hit different parts of the tricep. You know what I'm saying? Like tricep press downs and overhead triceps and stuff like that. I find I hit a different part of the tricep than when I'm doing close grip. So that's all I got to say about that. So anyway, I hope this helps you out with your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalbodybuilding.com, and thanks a lot to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now.